So here's something I've realized that I am struggling with at times, depending on what it is. So we all know this, the saying, you can't have the cake and eat it too. That means you can't hold the cake in your hand and then eat it too, right? Either the cake has to disappear from the hand or you leave it in the hand and then obviously can't eat it. Or for example, what you want to go on a vacation, and the example I heard make perfect sense, and you have 3 days to spend, and you want to go to either, let's say, Barcelona, for example, and maybe Tokyo, right? 3 days trip. Potentially you could do 1 day trip each, and then maybe another day that probably be 2 days traveling, right? So it's almost impossible to do two cities with any decent trip time. So you have to make a choice. It has to be Barcelona or Tokyo for the 3 day vacation you want to make. Similar to having a cake and eating. Either you got to eat it or you're going to leave it there and have the cake right there, right? That concept is easy to understand if I'm going to travel or if I'm trying to, I don't know, do a workout or spend time with someone versus not a spend time, whatever the case is, like within that timeline. Where I tend to struggle is in the business sense, trying to build a business on choices sometimes I have to make between, hey, do I spend the time right now on the business versus fun event, family event, whatever other vacation, all that stuff, right? And that's where I haven't brought my mind around. Now, there are things that I fully do well on the health side and, meditation, mindset stuff I practice as far as keeping myself in great health, at least right now, that I know I have to make those choices so I can't have, eat a lot of sugar and be healthy, or drink alcohol and be really healthy, or not work out and be healthy, so on and so forth. But in the financial sense, many times I lose track of it. I tend to, get suckered into things, distracted by things, either the fun things or could be family events, instead of prioritizing what's important now because I don't see the results immediately, right? Versus, I mean, if you're doing a job, obviously, you got to go to work, you get paid by whatever hours or number of days you work, so on and so forth. That thing is kind of easy to understand for most people who are W-2 employees, right? And then if you're transitioning from there, the difficulty is understanding you have to choose time spent wisely on the business, even if the results are not going to show up immediately. It might be show up somewhere future, a few days later, a few weeks later, a few months later, a few years later. That's the difficulty, because instant gratification we tend to have in this day and age. We expect results. If not, hey, we're wasting our time. And that's that's the struggle. It's not that I don't understand that, that I have to give up something to get something, but the patience, understanding that you have to keep giving up till you get that result sometime in the future, or immediately sometimes. But either way, nothing is guaranteed. So that's where I struggle. I don't know how many people struggle with is about, giving. There's no, I used to believe, yeah. So I, did a lot of, or watched a lot of law of attraction and, the meditation, all that stuff, and meditating to get what you want. All that is great, that in the sense that whatever you want to achieve, if you believe, then you will achieve. Those are all great. But the factor is you still have to spend time on it. There's no like, I want $1 million. It's not going to appear. You will have opportunities to do that. You'll have opportunities, but you have to take care of those opportunities. And they might not show up immediately, and it takes time to build those. That's where I think I forget that critical thing, and then get into this whole, oh, I'm not getting the results, so I'll do something else for now. Like getting into that mode sometimes. It's not always, it happens, on and off. So that's where I struggle. I don't know what your thoughts are. Anybody watching, if you guys have, anybody has, how do you overcome those struggles? What are your ways of overcoming that?